And welcome to day 45 of the Atlantic Hurricane season, day number 63 in the Eastern Pacific. At the moment there are no systems currently active in the Eastern Pacific or the Atlantic, but we do still have some systems in the Western Pacific. What was Typhoon Soulik is still going as a tropical depression over China, though there really isn't much left of it at this stage, and we do have an Invest 93W, which currently has a medium chance of development. As you'll see here on the Pacific overview, you can see 93W, which is located just to the east of the Philippines, quite a little way to the east of the Philippines, and is expected to move towards the northwest. There's not much left of Soulik, but what you can see of it is over China at the moment, towards the eastern coast of China. In the Eastern Pacific you can see not much going on there at all, nothing even noteworthy, to be quite honest. The Atlantic also remains fairly quiet. You can see the remnants of Chantal still going, sort of. It was also designated as Invest 96. You can see the clouds associated with that system off the coast of Florida, but really nothing that will form over the next few days. Though that was a small chance of it not too long ago, but that chance is completely diminished now. The Indian Ocean also fairly quiet at the moment. You can see a few disturbances here and there in the northern Indian Ocean or along the equator, but nothing that will be developed into a tropical storm anytime soon. Looking at the sea surface temperatures, you can see quite hot waters in the northwestern Gulf of Mexico, as is the case off the western coast of Mexico as well. Warm waters here, 30 degrees or more perhaps. The Caribbean generally remaining quite warm here. The Bay of Bengal as well, warm waters here, though there probably won't be any storms here anytime soon. And in the South China Sea, where we may see another storm in the Western Pacific forming according to one or two models, there's still very warm waters here as well. So here's Invest 93W, currently located near the Philippines, winds of 20 miles per hour, pressures 1010 millibars, current position 14.3 degrees north, 128 degrees east, and is expected to move towards the northwest, probably moving over the northern section of Luzon and then moving out into the South China Sea, perhaps posing another threat to Taiwan, or moving more towards the west and making landfall in China. Currently I put that at 50% chance. In the Western Pacific there aren't really percentage odds, but they do, officials have it classified as a medium chance at the moment, and that's probably raised to high if it continues to develop as it has been recently. You can see this is the latest 24-hour imagery. You can see Invest 93 moving generally westward at the moment, and really starting to get itself a little bit organised in the past few frames of these imagery animations here. You can see this is the floater imagery. You can see the Philippines off to the left. Probably won't be too much in terms of inclement weather occurring there yet. There are probably the odd few showers at the moment in association with that storm, and if it does indeed develop sooner rather than later, there could be some cause for concern in the northern part of the Philippines. Looking at the model runs then, things are looking fairly quiet actually in the Atlantic and the Eastern Pacific. The CMC model, first of all, has a little bit of a tropical wave in the Atlantic, though it doesn't develop, and a system moving off the coast of the mid-Atlantic coast towards the end, probably not tropical in nature though. The ECMWF model doesn't predict much either, perhaps a little bit of a low pressure system in the Eastern Pacific that forms, but that remains well out to sea, even if it does develop into any noteworthy system. The GFS model, let's take a look at this one, fairly quiet as well by the looks of things. No significant systems, perhaps a little bit of a low pressure system there at the end in the Eastern Pacific, possibly the beginnings of a next storm forming there, but in the Atlantic remaining quiet. And the NavGem model fairly similar as well. Not too much going on in this frame. High pressure, you can see, quite dominant in the Atlantic at the moment, stretching into the continental United States as well. That's the current situation there in the Atlantic. The CMC model in the Pacific then is much more interesting. Moves Invest 93 through the Philippines, and a stronger storm still over the South China Sea that moves towards the north initially, and then hangs around the South China Sea doing loops here and there. The GFS model has a very weak Invest 93 skimming the eastern coast of Taiwan, and then moving towards Japan has a very weak system, and also that system in the South China Sea forms as well and strikes the island of Hainan and then Vietnam eventually. Looking at the overall predicted season scores then, July the 15th, Ken remains in first place with 79 points, Typhoon Soulik with 71, and William also with 71 points. That's the top three at the moment in the predictor season leaderboard. Don't forget, you can submit your own predictions for the season. It's certainly not too late at this stage, but time is getting on. The scores are going down as time goes on, as the skill decreases and the accuracy possibly increases a little bit. But visit the website force13.com/interactive/interactive, and you should find submit the totals, and it will be up and uploaded onto the leaderboard in due course. So what happened on this day then on July the 15th in 1960? Hurricane Abby made landfall over Roatan and Belize, resulting in $60,000 in damages. I don't believe there are any reports of fatalities on that one. In 1975, Hurricane Denise dissipated in the Eastern Pacific. In 1982, Tropical Storm Amelia dissipated in the Eastern Pacific as well. And in 1985, Tropical Storm Anna formed in the Atlantic, the first storm of that season. Also on this day, 1987, Tropical Storm Dora formed in the Eastern Pacific. Lots of Eastern Pacific activity actually. In 88, Hurricane Carlotta dissipated. Tropical Storm Enrique formed in 1991. Tropical Storm Eugene also formed in 1993. And in 1995, Tropical Storm Faye formed in the Western Pacific. And you can see here with the Eastern Pacific storms, a lot of E's and D's forming, and obviously given that our E storm has already dissipated, we're a little bit ahead of what we're usually getting at this time of year. In 2001, Tropical Storm Cosme dissipated in the Eastern Pacific. In 2003, Claudette made landfall in Texas as a Category 1 storm, causing 3 fatalities and $181 million in damages. Imbudo also formed in the Western Pacific. Blas dissipated in the Eastern Pacific the next year. Tropical Storm Dolores formed in the Eastern Pacific in 2009, and Hurricane Amelia dissipated in the Eastern Pacific in 2012 on this day on July the 15th. And don't forget, you can track any storm that forms. Obviously there isn't really an active system at the moment. Soulik is very much in its dying days, if not gone already officially, but no storms have yet formed elsewhere. We will probably get 1 or 2 in the Western Pacific very soon. Eastern Pacific and Atlantic look quiet at the moment, but visit the website force13.com/storm tracking. That will show you the overlay map with the top and bottom tables, which show which storms are currently active and any warnings that are currently in effect as a result of that storm. Obviously will become effective in the future when we do have some storms active. And don't forget to visit all the social pages as well. We have 3 social pages which you can visit. YouTube, Facebook and Twitter. Force 13 is on all 3 of those. Just search us, you find it easily enough. And please show your support. As usual, by liking, subscribing, commenting, favoriting, following, and anything else that you can think of that I usually miss out in this part of the video, but there you have it. And as I always say, I very much appreciate any positive feedback that I do receive, and I do receive quite a bit, which is quite nice. And if you have any questions, of course, on the YouTube channel, you can just send in the question, or indeed by private message, and I'll get back to you if it is storm related. But that's all for now. The next update, the next bulletin will be coming up at around midnight UTC, probably tomorrow, if we see some development from Invest 93 in the Western Pacific. So that'll be midnight UTC on Tuesday morning, July the 16th. But that's all for now.